You just spent $18,000 installing solar panels on your roof. The salesman smiled, shook your hand, and promised that your electric bills were finished forever. But right before the deal closed, he revealed the part they never advertised first. If you actually wanted to use your solar power after sunset, you needed a lithium battery bank. Another $12,000. Another machine guaranteed to slowly die year after year until one day it stops holding enough power and you are forced to replace it all over again. You accepted it because you thought there was no alternative. Everyone says solar needs batteries. Every installer repeats the same script. Every commercial pushes the same idea. But what if the biggest lie in modern energy is not about solar panels at all? What if the lie is the battery itself? Back in 1953, a mechanical engineer in Switzerland built a home energy storage system that did not rely on chemicals, lithium, or toxic metals. His system used a spinning steel flywheel, a rotating mass storing energy through pure mechanical inertia. The machine cost nearly 1/10 of the price of modern battery storage, lasted over 80 years without losing capacity, required almost no maintenance, and never needed replacement. The original engineering principles were documented in technical journals during the 1950s, long before lithium batteries dominated the market. The system still works today. No degradation, no toxic disposal, no expensive replacement cycle draining your wallet every decade. Just physics, reliable, permanent physics. And that raises a dangerous question. If this technology already existed, why were you never told about it? Why were you convinced that lithium batteries are the only solution for solar storage? Because the global battery industry generates billions every year from one simple fact. Batteries fail. They degrade slowly enough that customers accept it as normal. Capacity drops year after year until replacement becomes unavoidable. That replacement cycle is where the real money is made. A flywheel destroys that business model because it does not chemically wear out. It solves the problem once instead of selling you the same solution over and over again for the rest of your life. Here is what makes this even more shocking. The science behind flywheel energy storage is not experimental. It is older than most power plants in America. A flywheel stores energy by spinning a heavy disk at extremely high speed. The faster the disk spins, the more energy it holds. When power is needed, the spinning motion drives a generator and converts that rotational energy back into electricity. No chemical reaction, no lithium cells, no degradation, just stored motion waiting to be released. The amount of energy depends on the mass of the wheel and the speed of rotation. Simple mechanical engineering, the same principles factories used before modern batteries even existed. In Holmes County, Ohio, a 56-year-old Amish man named Samuel Hartman from a rural farming community proved how powerful this forgotten system really is. In 2021, he installed a small solar array to power his workshop. He refused to spend thousands on lithium batteries because he knew they would eventually fail. Instead, he dug through old engineering books from the 1960s and built his own flywheel storage system using salvaged parts. A 40-pound steel disc, automotive bearings, a motor generator pulled from a discarded hybrid vehicle. The flywheel spins at 3,000 RPM when fully charged and stores approximately 4 kilowatt-hours of energy, enough to run lights, tools, refrigeration, and workshop equipment through the night. The entire system cost him just $290 in salvaged components. It has operated continuously for 3 years without losing storage capacity. Zero degradation, zero replacement costs. The only maintenance required is adding grease to the bearings once per year. Meanwhile, homeowners across the country are spending over $12,000 on lithium systems, guaranteed to weaken over time. Samuel Hartman built a permanent solution in a garage using scrap metal and basic mechanical knowledge. And he still cannot understand why this technology is not standard in every solar installation across America. The reason is simple. Permanent solutions are terrible for recurring revenue. A lithium battery bank costing $12,000 degrades roughly 2% every year. Within 15 years, capacity drops dramatically and replacement becomes necessary. Over a 30-year period, most homeowners will purchase 2 complete battery systems. That means roughly $24,000 spent just to maintain energy storage. A flywheel system built for under $1,000 can operate for decades with almost no capacity loss. Replace the bearings every several years for a few dollars, and the system continues operating indefinitely. One solution generates endless repeat purchases. The other eliminates them entirely. Now multiply that across millions of homes. More than 3.2 million houses in America already use solar systems. If even a fraction switched to mechanical flywheel storage, tens of billions in future battery sales would disappear overnight. Entire industries depend on homeowners believing batteries are unavoidable. That is why flywheel systems rarely appear in solar magazines, installer brochures, or mainstream renewable energy discussions. The technology exists. The economics are devastating. and the silence surrounding it is impossible to ignore. In 1978, a company called Beacon Power attempted to commercialize advanced flywheel storage for grid applications. Their systems used carbon fiber composite flywheels, spinning at 16,000 revolutions per minute inside vacuum chambers to eliminate friction losses. Each flywheel stored 25 kilowatt hours of energy and had a projected lifespan exceeding 20 years without degradation. Pilot systems were installed in Massachusetts and New York. They worked exactly as designed. Faster response times than battery systems, minimal maintenance, no chemical decay. Utilities praised the performance. But in 2011, Beacon Power filed for bankruptcy. Not because the technology failed, because they could not financially compete against heavily subsidized lithium battery manufacturers backed by automotive giants investing billions into electric vehicles. Internal bankruptcy documents revealed something even more revealing. Utility companies preferred battery contracts because batteries required recurring service agreements, replacement schedules, and ongoing maintenance profits. Flywheels solved the storage problem too permanently. Once installed, the customer stopped generating revenue. The deeper researchers looked into residential flywheel systems, the stranger the pattern became. In 2015, MIT published a comparative analysis examining lithium-ion batteries, lead-acid systems, flow batteries, and flywheel storage across 5 critical categories: cost per kilowatt hour, cycle life, maintenance requirements, environmental impact, longevity. Flywheel systems scored highest in long-term economics and operational lifespan. Lithium batteries ranked highest in energy density but performed poorly in degradation and environmental sustainability because of mining and disposal concerns. The MIT study concluded that stationary residential storage applications could benefit enormously from flywheel adoption due to their unmatched longevity and lower lifetime cost. Yet despite those findings, almost no residential solar companies implemented the recommendation. Battery manufacturers showed no interest in funding large-scale flywheel deployment. The report quietly disappeared into academic archives while the public continued hearing only one message: buy more batteries. Then came the incident at the University of Texas. In 2003, a research team led by Dr. Michael Lewis developed a residential flywheel storage prototype designed specifically for home energy systems. The project included detailed technical documentation, safety testing, cost analysis, and complete component specifications published freely through the university's research portal. Thousands downloaded the plans during the first year. People began building their own systems. The technology worked, then the battery industry noticed. In 2004, a battery trade organization contacted the university expressing concerns about liability risks related to residential high-speed rotating equipment. Additional warnings were added to the documentation, but downloads continued climbing. 1 year later, another letter arrived. This time, the group claimed the publication could undermine consumer confidence in certified battery storage products. The university removed the entire document from public access. Dr. Lewis attempted to republish the material independently, but legal pressure followed again. The documentation vanished permanently. The project disappeared. The discussion stopped. Thousands who downloaded the original files were left wondering why an effective energy solution suddenly became impossible to find. And it did not stop there. Between 2000 and 2010, multiple universities, including Berkeley, Purdue, Oregon State, and Carnegie Mellon, published research supporting residential flywheel storage systems. Every study reached similar conclusions: lower long-term costs, longer operational life, minimal maintenance, better economics than batteries for stationary storage. Every study recommended further residential development, and almost every study disappeared from public archives within months. The pattern repeated itself over and over again. Research appears, interest grows. People begin experimenting with home systems. Industry pressure follows. Documentation disappears. Public discussion fades away. Batteries return as the only visible option. Then came Tesla. In 2007, Tesla engineer J.B. Straubel proposed a residential flywheel storage product as an alternative to lithium battery systems. Straubel understood the economics of mechanical storage because he had worked on similar technologies years earlier. His proposal outlined a flywheel system capable of storing energy at dramatically lower cost while lasting far longer than lithium alternatives. Internal communications later revealed the proposal was rejected because it conflicted with Tesla's battery supply chain strategy and gigafactory production goals. Batteries supported larger corporate infrastructure. Flywheels threatened it. Think about what that means. One of the world's largest energy companies acknowledged the effectiveness of flywheel storage internally, then abandoned it because permanent storage systems were less profitable than replaceable batteries. And now you understand the real reason this technology remains hidden from most homeowners. The issue was never whether flywheel systems worked. The issue was whether they generated enough recurring profit for corporations built around battery replacement cycles. Right now, ordinary people across rural America continue building these systems quietly in garages and workshops. Some use salvaged electric vehicle motors. Others use industrial flywheels recovered from factory equipment. Most are built without engineering degrees. They work because the underlying science is simple, proven, and brutally effective. Rotational energy storage does not care about corporate marketing campaigns. Physics does not require subscriptions, upgrade plans, or replacement contracts. You are told that expensive degrading batteries were the future of clean energy. But hidden beneath decades of suppressed research, buried patents, deleted studies, and abandoned prototypes sits an older technology that refuses to die. A technology capable of storing energy for generations instead of years. A system that eliminates planned obsolescence entirely. So now ask yourself the question nobody in the solar industry wants you asking. If flywheel systems have worked for over a century, if universities proved their effectiveness, if independent builders still operate them successfully today, and if even Tesla engineers once pushed for their adoption, then why are lithium batteries still presented as your only choice? Because once people discover permanent solutions exist, entire industries built on replacement cycles begin to collapse.